Hi, my name is Beth Hiley for Board Game Geek at SPIEL 2016. I'm sitting down with Michael Obcharsky of REDIMP Games, and you've brought us the highly anticipated Martians, the story of civilization.
Hello, everybody.
A lot of people have been really anticipating this one. So what are we trying to accomplish?
Well, this was, in fact, you are right, it was a big success on Kickstarter, and we just started to distribute the game. So should we make some overview of the game? Or?
Yeah, like if you were going to boil it down to one sentence, in this game we're trying to what?
For me, this game is unique because of the modes that you have in the game. There are 4 modes. It's a solo mode, but there's competitive mode, cooperative mode, and semi-cooperative mode. And what basically game is about is that we are 4 private corporations that were hired by the International Space Agency, and we have just landed on the Mars. The landing was successful, and now we are starting to colonize the planet to make it a more friendly environment to live on.
So depending on what mode you're playing is really going to affect what you're trying to accomplish.
Indeed. Indeed, because in the pure competitive mode, each of the corporations will compete against other to get the most reputation points to win the game. All of the resources, all of the quarters, they are all individual. Each corporation will have 1 quarter. I will have some resources that I need to manage, and I need to be better than other corporations in colonizing the Mars. Whereas in the cooperative mode, all of the resources are shared and all the quarters are shared, and we need to work together against the game, against the hard conditions that are on Mars.
What would trigger a win in cooperative mode? Like, what are you working together to accomplish?
In the winning in the cooperative mode is in fact driven by the scenario, because there are different scenarios in the game, and depending on the scenario that you choose at the beginning, there will be some conditions specified that you need to fulfill, and only then you will win the game. Plus, at the end of the game, you need to make sure that in each quarter people can breathe, so you need to provide them with the oxygen. Because on Mars the environment is not very friendly, you must make sure that they will not become sick, so you need to provide some medicine, and of course you need to provide some food for them to get rid of the hunger tokens.
How about semi-cooperative?
In semi-coop, it's quite similar. You also have a scenario, but you may treat it not as an obligatory. So you may agree at the beginning of the game that scenario is obligatory and you still need to fulfill fully the scenario, but you may treat it as a non-obligatory, and it's another way of getting extra points. So you still have a scenario, and in the semi-coop you are having your own quarters that you need to take care of the people of the colonies in your quarter. The resources are not shared, and there is only 1 winner at the end. But of course, again, you need to make sure that you clear your quarters from this free type of tokens to be able to finish the game successfully.
One of the things that people were really excited about were some of these spectacular pieces. Now, you know, as is typical in Kickstarter, that, you know, you get a lot of little bonuses for supporting the game. Now, what we're looking at though is what just comes in the game standard though.
No, what we see here is the standard game plus the add-on. So this is the buildings are add-on, and as you can see, if you do not use the buildings, all the buildings are on the board.
Right, so we have like this biodome
this is
here,
a greenhouse.
right? Greenhouse,
These
all right.
are solar panels, windmill. So all of these facilities, they are on the board. But you may have an add-on, and then you replace them with these very nice figures. You may paint them, of course, to look even more beautiful.
And I also just want to highlight that we've got really some pretty spectacular player pieces here as well.
These are the pieces, plus the starting player marker, plus the round cycle marker. So these are the pieces that come in the Kickstarter version. So they are not in the retail version, but yes, in the Kickstarter you will get them inside the box. Plus this is very nice, this excavation machine.
Oh, yeah. Now, I know this is going to be very variable depending on how you're playing the game, but if you were going to put an amount of time
What's the game about? Basically,
Yeah,
how you play.
how long do you think a typical game might take?
Typical game takes around 1 to 1.5 hours. When you play with 2 players, normally it's close to 1 hour. When you play with 4 players, which is maximum, it would take 1.5 hours to finish the game. The game takes 4 cycles, and if you play competitive mode, there will be additional cycle because game is more difficult when you do not cooperate. And basically, the game is based on the worker placement mechanism. Each of the players will have this 3, let's call them supervisors, and we will be sending them to the different facilities on the board. For example, one of the basic facility is the MOXIE generator. So this is the place when we produce the oxygen. And what is interesting in the game is that you have 3 supervisors at your disposal and 3 time units at the beginning. So you need to manage both your supervisors and the time. Because some of the actions, like the basic action to produce oxygen, would take 1 time unit and 1 energy, and you locate your supervisor and that's it. But some of the locations, like for example excavation field, in the excavation field there are 2 actions available, and you may use one of your supervisors to do both of them. So once you go there, you may use all of the possibilities, but you need to spend time. So with just 1 supervisor, but with 2 time units, you may do excavation. With this machine you can excavate some of the resources, and you can also draw some additional excavation research cards.
Of course, that would only leave you 1 time
and then it
somewhere
leaves you
else.
with 1 time. But once you will use all of them, let's say you produce some oxygen, you did some excavation and use this additional opportunity, so that's it. But if you used for these 2 actions, you spent 2 time and you went to the landing pod. In the landing pod you can get some supplies. It means you are done with your supervisors and you are done with your round, and you put your marker. If you play with yellow, you will put your marker. It means that you use your 3 time units. When the next round will come, you do not have any more supervisors available. So first of all, you need to call them back, and this costs you 1 time unit. So during the game, all the time you are balancing with time and with your resources to do the different actions. And when you call them back, you spend 1 time unit, and then you only have 2 left to do something new. So, and also at the beginning of the game, you only have few buildings, few facilities at your disposal. But of course, there are actions to allow you to build new buildings and then to upgrade them. This red marker means that this building is not available at the moment. It's under construction.
So we don't have the ability to place our supervisors there.
And you can first move here to the construction facilities, construct spending some resources and some time, you may build this building. Now it's available, but it's not fully equipped. It still needs to be upgraded. Using another action, someone else can upgrade it. What is interesting in the competitive mode is that in fact when you build the facility, you build it for everyone. You make it available for everyone.
But you're spending the time to do so.
But because you did it, you get some reputation points because you did it.
Which is the thing that will possibly cause you to win.
Yeah, which is the way to win at the end. The most reputation may allow you to win the game.
Michael, I can see why this was such a popular campaign on Kickstarter, and really thank you for bringing it by and letting us take a look.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.